This podcast provides a platform that will share many different points of views that should empower you, uplift you, make you want to go out and do right. When you hear the term still a man, say, yes, I am. Still a man. Yes, I am. Still a man. Yes, I am. Let's go.
What's up, people? It is Tuesday night, and you are now tuned in to the Still a Man podcast. Tonight's topic, different types of parenting. So there are several different types. So before we get started, I know Tanya just joined in. She said she's a little bit under the weather. So as I stated, if you want to just listen, that's beautiful. Thank you for joining us. Thank everybody else for joining us. If you want to participate, feel free to do so. All right, guys, let's get right to it. So, as I stated, there are several different types of parenting styles. Which category do you fit in? Now, before we go into any videos and start getting the education, the literature, we're going to get you guys' personal point of views, whereas this is concerned. Because I'm not sure if everybody has the names of the different parenting styles, because depending on who was your parents and where you grew up, they probably called them something else. Or they probably didn't give you the name of their parenting style at all. It was more like, I can show you better than I can tell you. So let's start with, you know what, let's do this too. Because the majority of us are parents, or we have charge of someone else's child, be it if we work in the early child care education system, or with teachers or anything of that sort, daycare providers. So we all have had encounters and experience with taking care of children. So we're going to start right away with, let's give the ladies first dibs. Deli, what type of parenting style do you practice?
What do you mean? Like what? Can you just elaborate a little bit more with that?
What is your, so when it comes to parenting, you know what? You're right. Let me give you guys a little bit of extra. So this is what we're going to do. So the different types of parenting, there are authoritarian, permissive, what's the other one? The helicopter parents, or they might call them snowplow parents, and of course, the good old neglective parents. So we'll go backwards. The neglective parents, you know, they just feel like the kids can do whatever they want. They don't care. They rather that the children weren't there. They're not going to take any type of responsibility. The permissive parent is a little bit like that as well. They let the child have free range. They don't make no decisions. They allow the children to make all the decisions. They give them a whole bunch of different names for this one. You have the helicopter parent, you have the snowplow parent, and you have the parent that just basically micromanages, and that's all under the same category for that one. That means they do everything for the child. The child too cannot make no decisions. They make them for them. So that's that group. And then you have the authoritative. And the authoritative, I believe that's the one where you're firm, but you're fair. So that means you have rules, but you do it with love too. There's discipline, but there's also love. And then there is the authoritarian. And that parent is the one where I don't care what you say. You're gonna do it my way or no way. Do as I say, not as I do. I'm gonna say what I mean, and I mean what I say. That type of parent. And if you want to get hood vernacular, they would tell you don't get effed up. And all of y'all know what effed up means. Sometimes that's the one that a lot of parents practice. And that's that hands-on approach. Ain't much talking in that on parenting style.
And
Okay,
Dave, you forgot the militant parent.
that falls in line with the
Authoritarian.
authoritarian. So
Well,
we're gonna go.
I think I'm more with authoritator. I require some things and things I will not tolerate. It's, you know what I'm saying? So as a parent, with my children, like I said, I try to be fair. That comes with time and age, because as they're young, there is no fairness. It is my way or highway. But as they grow, yes, I try to be fair, but I also still keep in mind, not so much do what I say and not as I do, but you are going to respect and do and follow the rules of my household or the way I do things as a parent. Yes, you will. So I think I'm an authoritative.
Authoritative. Okay, so we got one for the authoritative. Next person, let's go to Patsy. What type of parenting style do you practice? Let's talk.
I think mostly authoritative because even when I'm either was in daycare or if I babysit someone else's kids, I got a set of rules. You're gonna abide by it, but I played it by ear and I did it with love. It's like I kind of like filtered the situation. You can get away with some stuff, but not. But you got some rules to abide in my house and respecting me and what I want you to do in my house. But I gave them, like my neighbor's kids. If they were up here watching TV, I'd give them a choice of what they wanted to watch and eat and stuff, But pretty much it's like if you act out, you got some punishment. But yeah, them kids really didn't act out too much with me,
Okay.
Yeah.
So we got another one for the authoritative category. Structure. Kiana?
How did I know he's gonna come to me? I toggle between authoritative and the first one where like yes, we're not negotiating. I'm not your friend. We don't have powwows. You do what I tell you to do and that's it. But I didn't go around, smacking them up, pushing them into a corner or whatever the case may be, because I don't really need to do that. But yeah, we're not friends. We're not having a conversation about what I told you. What I told you is what I told you, and that's it. Okay,
so still seems like authoritative with an undertone of authoritarian. So firm, structure, but I love you, and that's noted too. All right. Okay, so we got Kiana, we got Deli, we got Patsy, and Josie. I see you just joined. So we're talking about different parenting styles. So you can go ahead and just dive right in. What type of parenting style do you practice?
I'll go while she's waiting.
Excuse me?
I said I'm authoritative, undertone, what everybody else says right now.
Okay, so this is Tanya. Tanya saying she's authoritative. And Josie, you have to turn your mic on so we can hear you. All right.
Someone. So what did you just ask me?
So the different types of parenting styles. So there is the the authoritarian, there is the authoritative, there is the permissive, there is the snowplow / helicopter / micromanaging type of parent. There is the permissive parent, and there is the, what was the last one? Oh, neglectful. So which style do you practice?
I would think that I'm the authority, probably somewhat of the micro. But yeah, I say if it in between those two.
So you feel like you are a helicopter parent, snowplow parent, you remove obstacles and you hover about.
Yeah, I also think that I set the tone, try to be a role model. And then after that, I want to see you progress.
Okay, so you practice the authoritative / helicopter parent with an undertone of helicopter parent. All right, that's all the ladies. Unless I missed one. Okay, we're moving on to the fellas now. Timmy, what type of parenting style do you practice?
Authoritative. Because if you have, you know, all of us men that's on here have girls. So you do different authority attaining with your daughters than what you do with your son. You see, so with my daughter, I'm firm with her, and I'm like Josie. I'm there on that damn on the, you know, helicopter hovering, you know, not just hovering and watching, sit back. So when I see things that I don't like, I let her know about it. And both of them, both them and my son and my daughter, I let both of them know. I see something I don't like, I let them know. You know, that's just how I roll.
All right. So Sean, what type of parenting style do you practice?
I was more authoritative, but as they've gotten older, I'm more of the, it wasn't one of the options, but I'm more like, not necessarily their friend, but I'm more easygoing, laid back with them.
Okay, so it still seems like you're still practicing the authoritative parenting style where you're firm, their structure, but you do it with love and you give them room to grow.
Yeah, because they're all adults practically now.
Okay. Gregory, what type of parenting style do you practice?
Well, for the parenting that I was doing, I would say it would be authoritative, for the simple fact that's the way that I was raised. So I expect my sons to listen to me like I listen to my mother.
So you practice the authoritative parenting style. All right. Short and sweet. Bird, it's your turn.
Your mic's off.
Okay. Bird, you gotta turn your mic on.
I'm here.
Okay, so what type of parenting style do you practice?
I was a head busser. Bust you over your head. But like Timmy said, like Timmy said, I'm a head buster to my sons, but I was a pushover with my daughter.
Okay, Daddy.
So I was a disciplinarian and I was a head buster. Bust your head open to the white meat. But with my daughter, I was definitely a pushover.
All right. Yeah, thanks. Okay, Brimage, it's on you. We hear your mic. You're ready to go. What type of parenting style do you practice? Robert, you have to turn on your mic.
Not like I'm in school now.
Push over for Chloe.
No, authoritative. I believe that I'm very fair. I mean, we can sit down, talk, work things out. It's not that I'm your friend. It's just that I have understanding a child needs to be heard so you can work on their mental at the same time before it's too late.
Okay, so you practice the authoritative on parenting style.
Yes.
All right. Okay. So you guys, I've been fond of saying this over a course of years that my siblings and family members and close friends of the family, just family period, a lot of them are active members. They subscribe to the, okay, this is for the grown and sexy, so you know, ain't no kids listening. So the Punk Ass Parent Club. And all of them were proud card carriers. Now, by the time I entered the fray with parenting, you know, of my own children, they started referring to me as the president of said club. I beg to differ. I still think that all of them were active and proud members of that club, and I was an active witness. So that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. So, all right. So we're gonna take it a step further. What type of parenting style was you subjected to as a child? We're gonna start it off with Kiana.
I guess it's a authoritative parenting style. I mean, yeah, it definitely wasn't like, oh, you know, we we sit down and talk about things and things like that. No, it was you were told what to do, and that was it.
But that's the authoritarian, where there wasn't much talk. You do as I say, not as I do, because I'm gonna say what I mean and mean what I say. So there wasn't no options. There wasn't too much discussion. Is that what you're saying?
Pretty much.
Right.
A rule was a rule, and that was that. And if you broke a rule, you got in trouble for breaking a rule. So yeah, pretty much.
Okay. Timmy, you go next.
Authoritarian. Because what I've noticed is the things that we went through when we was coming up, we didn't subject our kids to that. Like the beatings and stuff like that. We didn't have to beat our kids. You know, I can say that we was hard headed, and when they went and started beating us and stuff like that, we was being defiant. But when we had our own kids, we decided, oh no, we're not gonna put our hands on our kids, you know, because we didn't like it when they was doing it to us, but we had no choice, right? Mm-hmm. So that's I never had to when they were small, when they were little.
No. We know we're talking about what you were subjected to as a child.
Yeah. So that's what I'm saying about that. Yeah. So what we went through, we didn't want to do what we had done to us, getting beatings and things like that, belts, extension cords, switch, shoes, with everything they felt like was near them to hit you. You know, so we decided we wasn't going to do that to our kids. We were going to be talk to them, sit down and have conversations with them. You know, find out where their heads at and what they want to do.
Okay, Patsy.
For the most part, it was authoritative. The first one, but as you know, but my mother kind of flip-flopped between that and authoritative. You know,
so your mother was
much,
authoritarian and authoritative.
Yeah, so she kind of did a combination depending on the situation. But she pretty much was like, "You're gonna do what I say, and that's that," you know. Otherwise, you gotta ass beat and whatever, you know. It's my house, my rules. No questions asked. Is that my way or the highway kind of attitude, you know?
Oh, my people, the verdict's in. Adopt or perish. You, S.A.M, still a man, and be forever. Adopt or perish, ladies first. SOS, support our sisters. Even if you support our sisters only. No pun intended. Scurry yourself over to EmporiumPlus.org, where you will find the latest fashions.
Cause she paid the bills and put the food in the house, so like, nope.
Okay. You know? Sean.
Yeah, I grew up, my parents were very authoritative. It's what they said went. There's no negotiation.
Okay, so guys, let me be clear about this. The authoritarian is the parent that wasn't a part of the discussion. The authoritative parent is the one that allows you to be a part of the decision making. The authoritarian, no talk, all action. I ain't gonna tell you twice. So it's if that's the one you do as I say. That's the one where I think everybody is talking about, where their parents wasn't for the extra conversation. So is that the one you're referring to?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Tanya.
Yeah.
What type of parenting style was you subjected to growing up?
I was subjected. What's the passive? That's the one that's neglect.
So there is the authoritarian, which is no nonsense, no discussion. The authoritative, firm structure, but with love. The permissive, as a child, you can do whatever you want. You called shots. The helicopter parent / snow plower, micromanaging parent. That's the one that Hubbard's about. He or she got to do everything for the child. And then there is the neglectful parent that does not care. I don't want you anyway. So sooner you grow up, the quicker I can get back to my life.
Okay. Different stages: authoritarian, authoritative, and
permissive.
Yeah, permissive.
Okay.
So I was subject to all three.
So now you're gonna have to break it down, because you said you was exposed to all three at what stages in life?
Stage in life. Young from let's say about 5 till about 10. Neglect. We'll go with neglect. Okay. Then from about 10 till about 15, authoritative. From about 15 till about 20, you know, because then I'm grown, so it was permissive.
Okay. All right. Deli?
I'm gonna say my background I came from authoritarian kind of family. There was no, you know, answer back, but I think it reflects like the times, like I think like the baby boomers, like if you was born in the 60s, early 70s, those were the kind of, in the times, those were the kind of parents they were, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe in the 80s and 90s, because of what we went through in the 60s and 70s, is why we didn't do the same things we got from our parents with our kids. You understand? Because I think that, I don't know, I have millennium kids. They're in the 2000s, you know, 2000 and something, and they act like they're privileged, you know? Like I owe them something.
All right. Bird?
Marcus was in 2000?
Marcus was in 85.
That's what I thought. He was early.
But she says she has other ones that was millennium.
Her youngest, yeah, her youngest. Marcus grown. Oh, he's
37.
40. Oh yeah, I was just off.
Bird.
Bird?
Here's Bird. I believe that there was only one phase up until a certain age, and it was authoritarian. There was no, you don't get a say in nothing. You do what I say. You eat what I tell you. You don't do what I say, not what I do, until about the tender age of about 13, and it became nobody. I'm the parent.
That's when the permissive set in at that point.
Parenting. Nobody was there. Nobody was there. I had to care for me, do for me, feed me, clothe me, everything me. So there was no supervision. And by the time parenting re-arrived in my life, you weren't a factor anymore in my life as a anything. My life. I had to raise me. You don't get a say anymore.
Okay. Josie?
Authoritative. My mom definitely was. I'm gonna say she was somewhat of what Bird just said. Do as I say, not as I do. Yeah, she set the law, and law was law.
So again, the authoritarian. That's the authoritarian. Gregory?
Yeah, I think I had a little bit of the authoritarian, the authoritative, and the helicopter parent, like Duke said, because I had some of the best of the both worlds. Because my mother had me young, and I was in a house where I was with my cousins, my grandmother, and my grandmother was more of an authoritarian. So if we was eating chicken pot pie for the night, I had to eat chicken pot pie even if I spit it up or something. And then you would have my mother helicopter, and she'll come in after work or something, and she'll come in like, nah, he doesn't have to eat that if he doesn't want to. But firmly, she always wants me to follow her guidance, her rule. So it wasn't like I was just doing what I wanted to.
So you had more than one parent figure, and mom was the authoritative. She was firm, but warm and loving.
Yeah, speaking from parenting and the village raising the child, and my mother being there for me.
Definitely. So it wasn't real rigid with force and rules and stuff like that.
Exactly. So if I'm with my mother right now for the time being, I might have a little more lenience.
So again, let's be clear about this too. Although the authoritative parent is warm and loving, They are totally clear about who the parent is.
Yeah, that's why I
at all
said a
times.
little bit more leniency. I didn't say a lot.
Yeah, but Dave, can we all agree that our parents didn't take no mess from us? We the same way with our kids. We ain't gonna take no mess from our kids.
Okay, but hold on. We got one more person. We got to get Roberts. Robert. Brimage, you got to turn your mic on.
I'm sorry, I thought it was on. Authoritarian and authoritative. I have both of them. Actually, my mom's and father, what they say, I abide by. I listen, like they said. But as I got older, it kind of lightened up for me.
Okay, so let's take this a step further, Robbie. Good segue into talking about mom and dad. So let's go ahead and dive right in. Turn up the fire. Who was the authoritative parent? Who was the authoritarian? Who was basically the discipline? Who was the person? Was it a situation where mom said, "You just wait until your father gets home," or was it a situation where mom, put it down before dad came home? She was a disciplinary and everything else. How was it, Robert?
Well, she was both. So if she had to handle business before dad came home, she handled it, and when dad came home, he finished it.
Yes, sir. Yes,
Okay.
sir.
So let's go on and say, so we'll keep it going. Timmy.
Yeah, I agree with Charlie because he 100%. You would, if you made mom mad enough, she going to do her little 1-2s on you, and just wait till your father get home, and you gonna get double. And I remember we used to go we going to bed early, take our bath early, and whatnot, go to bed early, thinking, yeah, we going to bed. Ain't no way he gonna wake us up to feed us. Sure enough, so he came in, she gave him the word. He come in there, come in here. Dude, so he opened up the door, she done told him what was going on.
Yeah, sounds chilling. Josie?
Yeah, my mom took care of business. It didn't necessarily need to be waited until my father arrived home. Sometimes I felt like that was just double the trouble. And my Timmy, you're so funny because I remember speaking on this prior on one of the podcasts that just be sleeping. Next thing you know, the sheets will come off of you. Meet me in the living room. When you met him in the living room, he was sitting in a nice little firm chair and his strap was waiting. And I don't know, we used to line up and used to get a beating, not for just what you did, but for what everyone else did too, because you should have been looking out for your brother and sister. And where you awoke, did you see the pee on the floor? No. Well, get your ass over here.
And the beatings, I might add, wasn't with a belt like that. It always was with a ruler, wooden ruler, and you put your hand out and pat. Now take yourself and go do what you got to do.
So it used to be definitely intense, even if it wasn't your situation. David, you were the president of the Punk Ass Parent Club. And that's all I want to say.
Yeah. Prove it. So let's go, Patsy. Who is the okay? So Mama Rector, we saw her in live in color. So
and then that was it. That was who handled it. Wasn't no daddy. Wait till your daddy, because there wasn't no daddy coming back home. Because he wasn't even in the picture.
So that's it. She was everything. The beginning, the Alpha and Omega in that situation.
Right.
Yeah.
Kiana? Kiana, who was the authoritative figure and who was the authoritarian in your family?
I mean, I guess authoritative would be my mother, and what is the
authoritarian?
Authoritarian would be my father, but my mother did not wait for my father to do anything. She would handle it, and he would either be informed or he would know what happened after the fact, but there was definitely no waiting till he got home.
Okay. Sean?
Yeah, it was my mom. My mom was the one that handled business. I've gotten 3 whoopings in my entire life, and all 3 of them came from my mother.
Just 3?
Just 3.
Just 3.
I was always as smooth and cool as you know me to be now.
Now, see, Sean, I can't say anything like that because they won't believe it. So
no. See, no.
We would believe it.
You ain't in that category,
Sean, yeah, we have no reason but to believe him, but no. You can't convince me. It was too much up close and personal, so you're not gonna convince me. We're gonna move on to Tanya.
Yeah. My grandmother was the authoritarian, and my aunts that I spent time with was the authoritative. Father was not in the picture when I was younger.
Okay. Okay, Deli.
My mom handled everything, but sometimes, depending on how she felt, she would add the cherry on top and just call my dad and let him know what was going on. He'd come and put the gloss on,
Come and glaze it up.
Yeah, he would set me up. You know what I mean? Let me think, that everything is cool. But no, Dad was coming to handle that. I think I was abused as a child. God forgive me, but I do. I don't give a damn if there was abuse.
That's how we all probably felt when we got beat.
Yeah, I'm here.
I know my boys
not with no damn ruler.
But see, that goes back to what I was saying, that we wasn't going to do it to our kids.
I still have those welts.
Oh, wow.
In court. Are you kidding me?
Okay, so wait a minute. Before we go any further, wait. Before we go any further, because Bird already told us his. So no, but hold up. I want to go back to Bird too. So Bird, out of the different parents within your let's say from your toddler to your adolescence to your teenage years, who was the authoritative and who was the authoritarian?
I mean, I believe my mom was all of the above. By the time my dad got home from work in them early days, we were already in the bed. So I definitely believe mom put the beat down on the beat down.
Yeah, because I can't see Mama Sandy waiting around for anybody to do anything.
No, there was no waiting. There was beating with whatever was in arm's reach, and that was it.
Okay, so Mr. G. Lacey, you the baby of the bunch, and be careful what you say because it might be held against you.
My mother is authoritative. I said it earlier, but when I was coming home from school or I was going to school, I was with my grandmother. She's an authoritarian. So it was more like we got beatings, man. I don't know about the millennials, but my generation definitely felt the wrath. You was gonna get it from your grandmother, your uncle, your aunt. Somebody was gonna do it to you.
So I gotta ask you a question, seeing that you are one of the younger village people, one of the ones that reside within the circle. Now you could be honest. Was your mother included in your aunts and your uncles at that time proud members of the punk ass parent club? Did y'all get away with a lot? I mean, you could say now you grown, you don't fear any type of reprisal.
Yeah, that's an subliminal.
I was about to say, if we got away with something, they didn't know it until later on in life.
That's a good political answer. That's a safe answer.
He's right.
All right, so we'll go back to the question. So Deli said she felt as if she was abused. How many other members, by a show of yay or nay, felt like they was abused when they was growing up? All those that felt they was abused, say yay.
Yay.
Now, could I explain why?
I
just want to say this. Let me just say this.
I said, how many people
I can say
felt...
yay, but there's a reason why I'm going to say yay, because y'all know.
Wait. We'll come back to that. We'll come back, because you always try to talk yourself out of something. Those that felt like they wasn't abused, say nay.
Nay.
Oh, I felt it sounded like there was more nays than yays.
Because you didn't.
Go ahead, Robbie. Take it away.
Now, the only time I felt like I was abused is when I was getting the beating. And the beating, I always felt, if you love me, why are you putting your hands or a belt to me? Because I didn't consider that love. If you sit me down, talk to me, take away my toys or something I loved or couldn't go outside, I'm all set. I can take that as a punishment. That's a good beating for me. But trying to blister me or whatever you was doing, I didn't consider that love. That's why when I grew into making children, I'm gonna treat them different than what my aunts and uncles and my mother and my father and their parents believe this is how you handle a situation. That's not necessary when you can sit and do other ways of discipline.
So, okay.
Now what you have to realize is that our grandmother and grandfather came from slaves being whipped and stuff like that, So what are they going to do to their kids? They're going to whip their kids, right? So what is our parents going to do to us? What their parents did to them was whip them. That's what they did to us. And so we
I wouldn't. So
very true.
I'll take it a step. I'll take a step first. So I'm going to say this. So where Robbie says that he rather have been subjected to a conversation, a lecture of sorts. I think I was the one that basically campaigned for that. I headed up those charges. I always felt like that. If you guys haven't figured out, anybody watching, we're all family, and the majority of us are siblings. And so when we was growing up, I was the one that I'd rather, get a lecture. But when it came down for the punishment, because my mom's was on that corporal punishment, stand in the corner, hold your hands up and stuff like that. And I wasn't for all that. That's the only time.
Y'all did that to us.
That's the only time. Now hold down.
That's what they did to us.
Now, that's the only time where I elected to get a beating and get it out the way. Anytime before that, I wasn't selecting no beating. I wasn't asking for no beating. But if you standing in the corner with one leg up and your hands out, and everybody else is having a good time, go ahead and beat me. Put me out my misery and yours too.
As I got older, that's how I felt. Because a beating is over within 5 minutes, maybe 10 minutes the most.
It depends on who was giving you. It depends on who was
who's giving
it. And if somebody beats you for 10 to 5 minutes,
you ain't never got beaten for no 5 minutes.
I said that's corporal abuse. So let me tell you, this is what I was saying. if I could take a 5-minute beating compared to
You ain't never got beaten
Now,
5
now,
minutes, Private.
Can
now
I
let's
finish?
thought it
If
was
I
5 minutes.
see,
It
one at a
wasn't
time.
if
5.
I would
One at
prefer
a
to
time.
take a 5-minute beating before having to be on punishment for a week or two. Is the
Now,
big difference. We can get this
now,
over right now in minutes,
now
but
let's
being
let's
48 hours, 64 hours going on like that is torture. You want
now
to get outside.
let's be clear about this. Now, Robert is entitled to his opinion, and I'm and I'm inclined to believe him, and I agree with him because it, like I said, it depends on who was giving you those spankings.
Yes.
There wasn't spankings, there was beatings. Mommy
That's what it was.
Mommy might have took 5 minutes or less. If it was less than 5 minutes, consider yourself privileged. She didn't want to do it anyway. Now, Daddy.
Y'all made y'all's beatings more than
Now,
5
look and
minutes
see.
because you was running and hiding.
To me, it was maybe.
Dukes, I was just about to say that. They used to tell you, don't
It
run.
was no more than a minute. A minute to fucking 2 minutes.
Timmy, that was only you, because you are the person that brought about mostly everybody else's abuse due to your defiance.
Yeah, but I
So
paid
you're beating
right there.
I paved the way.
Right there, the defiance. That's when you get to the beating. Now you start off with talking and trying to talk to them.
Right. That's
no,
what I'm
that do the same thing over and over again.
Exactly, Tanya. You hit the nail right on the head.
Well, that's probably what Tanya practiced.
No,
because
that
she,
was the same
but,
thing
but,
with our mother.
No,
that was the same thing with our mother.
But we have more than one parent. We have more than one parent. So there wasn't no talking with let me stand corrected. There was talking with Dad. He talked while he was beating you, and that's what made the beating take longer. So that's what it was. It's like, pick one, dude. We don't need both. You didn't already started down one road. I mean, that's the way it happened. But again, from what Timmy and I'm saying and what Gregory's saying, you can see he was a proud recipient of the punk ass parent club parenting, because he didn't receive that much spankings or too much rigid discipline. And that was probably because your dear Uncle David was always promoting different parenting styles. Now I say that, and I'll go to the go ahead, tech person, and bring us to that video, because we're gonna get the professionals' opinions.
What do you want?
Want a job that I don't.
In theory, there are only 4 styles of parenting. Authoritarian parents are controlling and demand obedience without considering the child's point of view. Permissive parents are loving but don't exert any control. There are no rules. Authoritative parents are firm but loving. They encourage independence within limits. Neglecting parents are uninvolved and often uninterested in their own child. Recently, a 5th style was proposed, but we will come back to that later. The styles range from controlling and demanding to complete freedom, and from cold and unresponsive to loving and receptive. Each authoritative, permissive, authoritarian, and neglectful parents have their place. To understand what it means to grow up with parents from each end of the spectrum, we can imagine the lives of 4 children. Sarah's parents are authoritarian. They love their girl, but they believe that strict rules are important to make Sarah become well-behaved and fit into society. If Sarah cries, she's told to stop. If she talks back, she is sent to the corner for time out. If she forgets to take care of her chores around the house, she is not allowed to play with her toys. Sarah learns that suppressing her emotions and following her duties is the way to get through the day. To get the love of her parents and to avoid making them upset, she becomes obedient. However, because Sarah was never allowed to decide for herself or follow her intrinsic interests, as an adult, she doesn't know what she really wants. She begins living a life that seems perfect to her parents and society, but might leave her unhappy on the inside. Permissive parents, like those of Peter, enjoy their little boys so much that they believe they should fulfill all his wishes, give him full freedom, and never say no. Peter enjoys full control over his parents and gets whatever he wants. If he doesn't want to walk, he'll be carried. If he wants ice cream he gets. If he wants to play games, he'll be playing them all night. Peter grows up completely without borders and does whatever he thinks is right. He never coped with conflict, and he did not learn to control his emotions. The fact that he always got what he wanted made him a bad loser. As he grows older, he often acts inconsiderate and doesn't know his limits. Arthur's authoritative parents respect their child's needs, but believe that kids need freedom within certain limits. Arthur can freely play, but when he's done, he needs to help tidy up. He is allowed to eat ice cream, but only on Sundays. Screen time is limited to 30 minutes a day. There may be conflict, but the parents listen to what Arthur has to say and then lay down the rules. Arthur learns that some things are difficult, but his parents give him all the support he needs to get through it. He develops the strength to endure hardships and to continue following his interests and passions. In class, he bravely expresses his own opinions in an appropriate manner. During breaks, he can show his emotions and act freely. As an adult, he agrees to rules only after they have been discussed and he feels like he understands them. Neglectful parents are usually not present in their children's life. Nora often feels completely alone in the world. She experiences full freedom to do anything she wants to and has plenty of imagination, but she never receives any feedback or even attention. Nora realizes that it doesn't matter what she does because no one cares anyway. The lack of attention leads to a lack of trust in herself and others. She becomes insecurely attached, unable to form healthy relationships, and develops a negative image of herself. To stop feeling unworthy of love, she tries not to feel anything at all. In recent years, over-involved parents who are present in every aspect of their child's life are often referred to as the fifth style. These parents are also known as snowplows, removing obstacles out of their kids' path, or helicopter parents who hover about and micromanage every aspect of their child's life. Since they won't let their children do anything alone, the children can't learn to overcome challenges by themselves. Research infers that these children don't like to solve difficult problems, lack perseverance, and may even procrastinate in protest when something requires a lot of effort. Since most research on parenting is based on self-reports and was done in the US and Europe, it is not clear how strongly the observed effects will hold up in controlled observational experiments or in other parts of the world. The 4 parenting styles were first introduced by psychologist Diana Baumrind. For good parenting, she advised balance of demandingness and responsiveness. Add to that the wise words of Maria Montessori to never help a child with a task at which he feels he can succeed, and parents should do pretty well.
Hey, did you guys hear about that store online? One Stop Shop? EmporiumPlus.org. Go over there now, where you can find the latest fashions and the Dr. Parrish, U-Serm, Still a Man, a Dr. Parrish Ladies First, SOS Support Our Sisters, and Envy Forever. Go, gravitate to the fashions that will make you look better.
Okay, guys. So now that we went to school and everybody got their diplomas regarding the 5 parenting styles, I'm going to ask you again. As you have morphed into your grown and sexy stage of life, what parenting style do you practice now? What type of parent are you? We're going to start with Tanya.
Yeah, I'm still an authoritative.
Okay. Patsy?
Same thing, authoritative.
Kiana?
I mean, my son's older, so I'm still authoritarian.
Okay.
Authoritative, because like again, we're cool, but we're not friends. I'm still your mother, so you just won't be talking to me any old type of way.
So again, it's clear about who the parent is.
Yes.
Deli?
There's no blurred lines. Absolutely never.
Deli?
I'm gonna say authoritative.
Okay. Kiana, I think you were saying something, but it was kind of muffled. Say it one more time. I think you said something in regards to there's never any blurred lines. Duchess, you want to say that again?
Sound like her mic went low or her mic went out.
Okay. Yeah. So Gregory, go ahead. What type of, after hearing that, what type of parent do you think you are?
Authoritative, the same thing.
Authoritative. Timmy?
Authoritative.
Sean?
Authoritative.
Robert?
Authoritative.
Josie? Josie? Okay. All right. So, all right, we got all that out the way. Now we can go and we can take it a little step further. So, do you guys know any children like that? Do you feel like any of your children or any of the children under your charge are like Sora, Arthur, Peter, and Nora? I believe that was the last one. Yeah. So anybody know any? So let me just say this. I feel like that there's this generation, this current generation, and some of the women of my generation are adult Noras, where they, because they were neglected, they just don't know who they are. They don't know what they want. They have low self-esteem. I don't know. Can you guys relate to that? Do you guys think I'm off course, or is there a lot of that going on?
I agree with it to a certain extent, yeah.
I can tell you this. I think that she's leading a life of depression and she's going to end up on a suicide lane.
Mm-hmm.
So guys, just feel free to jump in. Sean?
I just think they just privileged. Like Sister T said earlier, they just feel privileged.
So these are so that is probably in direct line with the parents have been a little like Peter, permissive. Peter got to do whatever he wanted to do. So as an adult now, Peter has issues with authority and rules.
See, each one of them is a stigma attached to them. Like Peter is someone that would end up committing a murder. That's murder, because he can get anything he wants. And when his parents start saying no to him, oh, I'm going to kill everybody. You see? And the Noras, the Nora one, she is gonna end up, she got low self-esteem. She might end up meeting up with the wrong thing that beat her, or meet up with a pimp that put her out on the street.
Yeah,
Turn it out.
I think the Nora would be, subjected. She's more than likely to hook up with Peter, and they go on a destructive path.
Yeah,
I see that.
That too.
Bonnie and Clyde.
Well, if you can call him that. What about Zora? Do you guys know any, because that's the one where someone has told her what to do all her life. She doesn't get to have an opinion.
She's going to be with a dominant man, for sure. A dominant man. Because
now, she might be the one
she
that is
knows.
pimp.
No, I mean,
right,
that's
right.
possible.
Exactly, that's right. She's going to be the one that's pimp.
If
Go ahead, Tanya.
If Nora got a permissive parent on the other end, she's gonna be very confused.
But what about Zora, the one where everybody tells her what to do all the time? She doesn't have an opinion.
That's what I'm saying. She can have one parent to tell her what to do all the time, and then have another parent that's permissive.
That's gonna be bad. Okay, that's a good question. So what happens when one parent is permissive and the other one is authoritarian and it's like do as I say, but then when that parent's not around, you can do what you want. So let me go around the room.
Now you have a conflict. You have a conflict. It becomes undermining authority. So you're going to play one parent against the other.
Against each other. That's right. Go ahead.
Behavior. You learn how to do that.
Do you know that just remind me of a Hey Arnold cartoon? Because Helga's mother doesn't care what she does, but her father tells her everything what to do. So in turn, she beats everybody up now. She's a bully.
Because she got a problem with her emotions.
Yeah.
Now, okay, so let's take this a step further. So we all have siblings. So do you know your siblings to be? What type of parenting styles do they practice? Let's go with Tanya, you got siblings?
Yep, I do.
So
now,
are you
my brothers, I know what type of parenting styles they are. Because they don't have they're away from their children. So
well, let's take a step further. Let's go with your children. What type of parenting styles do they practice?
One doesn't have kids.
Mm-hmm.
Well, two don't have kids. So then you have one that is authoritative. You have one that's authoritarian. Then you have one that is, authoritative. Most of them are authoritative.
Which one?
One is authoritarian. I don't want to
put them out there. You okay? That's fair. That's fair. Okay, so I guess I can ask the question to others in another way. Sean, you have siblings. What type of parenting styles do they practice?
My sisters, no nonsense with all of their kids, even though they're grown. But for my brothers and I, we're kind of, because our kids are older, we're more laid back, so more permissive, I guess. Because we kind of negotiate with them, if you will.
Well, ain't nothing wrong with that. Now, do you have any grandchildren yet?
Yeah, I have one. He's little, and his mom. Yeah, my daughter. She's very Yeah, she's authoritative. She
Mm-hmm.
is. She's her mother all day.
Well, I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, but it's been said.
Find out. We'll find out.
Let's go with Kiana. So
yes.
We're gonna go with your siblings.
You was asking a question before. I was on another line, but no, I didn't get cut off. I said there are no blurred lines between me and my son. Then my sibling has a totally different child rearing than I do, and it's funny to me. She's more to take them into consideration, ask them their opinion and things like that. And
she's authoritative. She's the one that she's firm.
Authoritative, but I feel like she's a little more, I don't want to say permissive, but you know, kind of let them find their way, but with some guidance.
So that's authoritative. That's still authoritative. But let's be clear about this.
She's permissive.
Authoritative parents can be permissive too at times, because sometimes I think that they will be permissive at times just so they can get the preferred results.
Yep.
Okay, well.
So I think that's where they will be permissive.
But I guess to me, then that authoritative parenting, there's a scale, because I would be at the end near the authoritarian, and she's more at the getting ready to be permissive scale. So
okay, so it's a sliding scale.
Yeah, mine don't slide, but hers does.
Well, see, you go by the age bracket. You know, as they get older, you start to.
I don't care.
You start to let them.
My son is a grown man. We still, again, we're not that. We're never going to be on the same level. Absolutely.
Okay, so I think it's safe. I think it's safe to say that's across the board. That's uniform with Kiana though. She's not just like that with her child. That's all children. That's all children. She's not for.
No, she ain't changing her spot.
Yeah, ain't for no nonsense, period.
No,
not for nobody.
You're feeding.
Nobody's adult either.
Not yours. Not a stranger's kid. Nope, none of that. I don't do that.
So I'm gonna go on and ask you this, Kiana. Have you ever been a card carrying member of the Punk Ass Parent Club?
Hell no. I don't know that.
I can tell.
I don't know where the address is. I don't know where that's
at. Deli, have you ever been? You said it rather quick.
Yes, because you're calling my name. I'm sorry. Yes.
Okay. So you wasn't answering.
I thought you was yelling yes.
Oh, I'm about to say.
You was yelling yes.
Me too. I'm about to say, there's y'all's president right there. I said, have you ever been a proud card carrying member of the Punk Ass Parent Club?
No.
Okay. Did anybody ever offer you a card, a membership?
No.
Okay.
And I don't even know what the Punk Ass Parent Club is.
That is usually somebody like Peter's parents.
What? It's too much dialogue. I can't understand it. What is
Peter's parents? Peter's parents. Peter's parents was very permissive. Peter does whatever he wants to do. Peter doesn't he doesn't adhere to any rules and stuff like that. Peter will not be told what he can and what he cannot do.
I'm not a parent like that though.
So you never even walked past the club?
No, I don't know.
In the club.
No.
Okay.
And my siblings are authoritarian, you know?
Mm.
We come from the same tribe.
Mm. Okay, so I'm gonna ask Tanya, because go ahead, Tanya. So have you ever been a card carrying member of the Punk Ass Parent Club? And think about it before you answer.
And so why you telling me to think about it? Why are you telling me to think about it?
Like you gonna say that you ain't.
I'm not a card member of the Punk Ass Parent Club. I am not. Now, if you want to say grandparent club, I would have to say yay. Sometimes.
Okay, so you have basically started a new chapter, the Punk Ass Grandparents Club.
Sometimes, yeah.
Okay. Okay.
That doesn't mean they don't have no rules and they don't have to adhere to them.
Exactly.
I tend to be a little more lenient with the grandkids.
That means she just give them the grandmom loving.
All right. So
I believe, Dave, that you are calling people who were, giving a
because
little.
He don't want to be alone. He don't want to be the only member.
I don't consider that punk ass parent. I don't believe in that.
I think Dave don't want to be the only member.
It goes by stages. It goes by stages.
I think my membership to the club came about. I was guilty by association. So because the chapter was already established.
You the originator of the club. You created that club.
See, Sean, Kiana, Patsy, don't believe with it. Well, Kiana, let me ask
you. You the one that started calling everybody punk out parents. So Kiana, you created it.
So Kiana, because I value your opinion, and you can tell me the truth. Was I a member of the Punk Ass Parent Club?
I can't even call a time that you did any discipline. So I would say yes.
Well,
thank you.
There you have
There
it.
you go.
There you have it.
Enough said.
There you have it. I mean, I think she was gonna come to my defense. Well, so I guess I was a card carrying member of the Punk Ass Parent Club before I became a parent.
You was not only the card carrier, you was the president.
Yeah, so I guess it's safe to say that based upon what everybody is saying, that I'm probably going to be a card carrier. No, I'm probably going to be I'm probably going to be a president of the Punk Ass Parent Punk Ass Grandparent Club, because my daughters, daddy's little girls, they could pretty much. Yeah, they got me wrapped up. Well, I shouldn't say, because
I'm glad you admit
they get away. They get away with
you
a
hit
lot.
it right on the nail, Tanya.
They get away with. I think it was bad influences from them other children around them. I'm not saying no names, but might have been those my siblings' children rubbed off on me and stuff.
Now, Dave, you try to put everybody in your club because you was the president, and now you're trying to deflect.
But
you can't take the
I'll say this. So Patsy, because you're somebody that knew me too, as I was a young kid and a teenager, did you ever think I was going to be a member of the Punk Ass Parent Club?
Just a member, the president.
Wait, listen to her answer. Say that again, Patsy.
No, because you had attitude. Allow them girls to be around that finger. That's what you did.
Yeah.
So to be like that. You know. So they learned Oh, I can do what I wanted and say, Daddy, come here. I want to do something. And you wouldn't, you said, oh, okay, baby, you want this candy? I'll give you that candy.
Now I don't know if it went that far. Now I wasn't like Peter's parents. Now I might have been playing tea parties and doll babies and doing hair. So I was gonna do all that anyways. I was gonna do all that anyways. But the other stuff, I don't think they totally walked over me. They might have left some like bumped me a few times. Yeah. But yeah. See, but that's because I was an authoritative parent. I still am. And the other parent was permissive by choice. So I think that's where it came into, was more like you go along to get along in that situation. So that's what happens with a conflict of parenting, styles. So if so Sean, you are an authoritative parent. What is Nadesh?
That's just easy going. What you witnessed of her is how she is across the board. Now, when she gets upset, she gets upset. But for the most part, she pretty much can talk and get her point across.
But she's slow burn.
Easy going. Yeah.
She's slow burn.
Yeah.
Well, seems like that no matter what we went through as children, the different type of styles that we were subjected to, both by our elders and our parents, the people around us, we've all basically become authoritative parents, and we practice that parenting style. Seems like, are we all in agreement of that?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, wait. There is an exclusion, because there is one that does not have a slide. Kiana is still a card-carrying member of the authoritarian parenting style, and it's not changing no time soon. So everybody else is...
Dave, let me tell you what it is. She is still on that same wave that her grandmother was on. They ain't taking no mess from their kids. She ain't gonna do it with her grandkids or her grandkids' kids. She ain't gonna do it. It's
so
just not gonna happen.
Let's be fair.
That's facts. Nope, I don't care.
So I ain't even had to ask you the question.
So have me gushing at the sides. I will sew it up so they will not be rocking over me. Absolutely never.
Yeah,
that's why I said that.
All right, so we know the different types of styles. Everybody, you got out of it. So I would say this. So all of us, urban community, of all the things we could have become, it's worse things out there in the world, as opposed to being a member of the punk ass parent club. I mean, because it could be worse based upon your upbringing, your environment, the things that you saw. I mean, I know there was a lot of people around me in the area, let's just say the community we grew up in, where children were abused. They went through a lot of different things. I can't say that really went on in our household. There was discipline. It was stern, but we knew we was loved. All joking aside. Even with my dad was a whole lot more stern, strict, hands-on. We could have probably got away with more with our mother than our father. But even our father, he would let things go at times too. But yeah, when he came for you, you knew he was coming. Again, y'all talked about the whole waking up out of your sleep. I didn't sleep much when we was a little kid. That's probably why I can't sleep now.
If you did something wrong, you knew you was gonna get this.
No, let me be clear. Let me be clear about it. It wasn't about what I did wrong.
You knew when you did something
It
wrong.
was more so about what you did wrong, Timmy. And I knew
stuff on me.
I knew the rest
beat
of us was going to. I knew the rest of us was going to be held accountable, but Timmy didn't care. He didn't care either way. So it was like if he was getting disciplined, he didn't care. Everybody else had to come along for the ride. But yeah, you said you paved the way for us doing a lot of things.
Yeah,
so
I did. I paved the way.
Yeah, even the way to the discipline. Now, let's be fair to my dad, our dad, because he's no longer with us. You know, if he was here, he would say, that wasn't him, that was your mother. That's what he would say. He would say he wasn't like that. Y'all got him mixed up, but ain't nobody got nobody mixed up. My dad was the stern disciplinary. My mother, yeah, she punished you.
She'll do it if you made her mad enough.
Yeah, mad enough. And usually it was Sunday he done did that made her switch up her parenting style. But other than that, my mother was more of a authoritative. She wasn't authoritarian. She could be. She had it in her to be it, but she was more authoritative. And I think as we got older, like
when y'all started getting taller than her, she had to become authoritarian.
Tanya, you was around long enough. You know, height don't matter. This woman, she get on a chair or a countertop or anything.
That's true.
She got Napoleon complex. She don't care nothing about your height.
That is so
true. That is Penny too.
Yeah, she ain't care nothing about your height.
Just like our grandmother wasn't. She didn't care about your height. She would reach and climb up your leg and slap the hell out of you.
But you know, again, my dad said that all short people are mad at the world because they gotta look up at everybody. I think that's true in some cases. They all got attitude.
It ain't all true, you know. Okay.
No, but you know, I'm gonna say this. Listening to this video and listening to you guys talk, I'm saying I'm proud of everybody because you guys are more y'all are well-rounded. So in any cases, all our children, they've gotten what they need from the parenting styles that we practice. And I think, to be honest, depending on the situation, we can all practice one or the other, because I think that sometimes it's safe to say that we're authoritative. Then there's other times where we're the authoritarian. And then there's other times where we be permissive because that's what the situation calls for. We may also be helicopter parents at times too. Right. Depending on what the situation is. Exactly. But I don't think
it's all about the timing.
But I think that none of us are neglectful. None of us have been, nor would we be, based upon what we seen, what we were subjected to, and other stuff. I think we all can honestly say we wanted better for our children than what we had, and if we had it good, we wanted our children to have it better. Are we in agreement to saying that?
Yes, we are.
Yes,
all right. So I'm gonna go ahead and say, y'all repeat after me. I am a member.
I ain't no damn member of that.
I
ain't no goddamn member of that.
All right, y'all too sharp for me. I couldn't get you. All right, this has been another episode of the Still a Man podcast. I appreciate you guys. Love you. Keep coming back. And remember, be good to the children.